Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. You're watching iAllegedly. And got a good one for you today because the banks have to pay up now. And when we think the banking crisis is over, it's just basically beginning right now. But before I get into it, please take a second. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. And today we have a sponsor, Patriot Gold, which I'll talk about a little bit later. But before I get into it, I cannot go to the Masters this week. And I have 4 tickets to the practice round on Wednesday, April 5th. If you would like to attend the Masters, there is no food, there is no lodging, there is no travel, there is nothing but 4 tickets to go to the Masters on this Wednesday. We are giving them away on Monday, and they're going to be overnighted to the person that wins. There are 4 of them, 4. Use the link below to sign up if you are interested. Family member, anybody, fill it out. We're giving them away for free with all the travel and everything that we've talked about in the past, discounts and things like this. The perfect opportunity. 4 tickets to the Masters practice round on Wednesday, April 5th. So sign up for it right away. Now, first thing, the banks right now are having massive problems and just had to come up with $23 billion to help shore up the smaller banks. Now, think about this. They are talking about different penalties and different fees for banks to help the smaller banks because there's $128 billion at risk right now. Now think about this. This is going to be an assessment in early May. So basically, as we enter April, we've got a month for these banks to pay up. Well, this should be a warning sign for everybody that the banks are not secure at all. The FDIC steps forward and said that the larger banks, and 3 of the 4 they're naming, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan Chase, and Bank of America, they're saying that they want to help solidify and pay these fines and fees to help the smaller banks right now. Over the course of the last week, there has been still a massive run at the banks, people taking cash out. What they're doing with it, who knows? There's been a lot of deposits at large banks, but right now these fines, these penalties, these fees that they're coming up with is completely unfair for, I think, for the banks. I mean, you know, they have to pay insurance premiums when you run a bank, but right now they're sticking this to these people right now, and I don't think it's fair. I really don't. But it also should be a sign that things are not as healthy as they want to tell us that they are. So, have you noticed that they just throw around these numbers like it's no big deal? 23 billion, 128 billion, $64 billion. Think about this. Right now, you are seeing so much money leave the banking system. The most recent numbers come from the week of March 22nd. As of March 22nd, another $100 billion was taken out of the banks right now. $100 billion. Where to? Investment funds? Under the mattress? Who knows? Okay? Robert Kiyosaki steps forward, and Robert Kiyosaki has another warning. Robert Kiyosaki says we need to look at the Bank of Japan, and that the Bank of Japan could be the next Silicon Valley Bank. Now, I know everybody's like, oh, it's not my bank. No, this is huge. If you have one of these, you know, the European banks, if Deutsche Bank goes down, you know, this is going to affect global transactions. It's going to be an absolute problem that people don't want to admit. But the Bank of Japan has made so little money over the course of the last few years that, you know, it's finally catching up with them. All the low interest, rising interest rates, you'd think, well, they're making more money now. No, they're making less money when the interest rates go up. And that's the problem with the Bank of Japan. That was the problem with Silicon Valley Bank. That's the problem with First Republic. First Republic's funny because they had all those high-end clients, and us peasants weren't allowed to really bank there. And it, you know, really cost them because now they're not making any money and nobody's refinancing their houses. So this is just the beginning of this right now. So it'll be interesting to see if, in fact, you know, the Bank of Japan goes under, you know, and Robert Kiyosaki, again, this guy's predicted a downturn for the longest time, over and over and over again, but eventually Robert's going to be right. Peter Schiff's going to be right too at some point. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Let's talk about our sponsor, Patriot Gold Group. Let's face it, your retirement is at risk right now. You need to protect yourself and protect your family. The best thing to do is get yourself a metals-backed IRA or 401k from the good people at Patriot Gold Group. Call them today, 888-330-1431. They will give you the best-in-class service, #1 rated for 7 years in a row. It's time to make a change, guys. It's time to take your finances into your own hands and talk to the people at Patriot Gold Group. Find out today, get a free investor guide, get your questions answered, but do this before it's too late. Wells Fargo Bank just said that commodities are about to go into a super cycle. You don't want to miss out on this. You need to sign up today to get an IRA or 401k. Call them, 888-330-1431 before it's too late. They'll answer all your questions today. Just to be accurate, it was $126 billion that was taken out of the banks. And, you know, when I've talked about the Great Depression in the past, people really think that this was somehow like 6 weeks, 6 months, a year of a downturn. This was basically 10 years, guys. I want you to also think about this. There was something called the Bank Holiday of 1933 when, you know, things were so messed up with the banks and there were so many bank failures that I think it was Roosevelt said, you know, he was going to close the banks down for 1 week, okay? 7 days, 1933, bank holiday. What would you do if, as of yesterday, your bank was open? Oh, I didn't get there, I'll do it tomorrow. No, it's closed for 7 full days, okay? What would you do? People don't get it. People don't think about how serious this would be in their own lives if they'd had that bank holiday and if it hit them. I'm telling you guys, watch this right now, because what we're being told and the distractions over here, okay, are not what's happening. These banks are in serious trouble. They've lied to us forever. They have fleeced us. They have charged the little guy all these different fees and made so much money on taking advantage of overdraft fees and everything. You know, Wells Fargo just got fined another $93 million in the last week. I mean, this is ridiculous, guys, but this is happening over and over and over again. So the other thing is layoffs right now. Seeing massive layoffs. There's a company, Columbus company, Cover My Meds. They just laid off 800 people from their Arizona office. 800 adults just got laid off, okay? How about this one? There's a furniture manufacturer in North Carolina, Creative Metal Works. They've been open since 1954. They're done. They're finished, guys. People are not buying furniture. People are not spending money like that anymore, okay? Now, today we were told, hey, there could be a recession second half of the year. You know, it's about a 50% chance. Are you kidding? This is so catastrophic what we're heading into. What we're heading into is a depression. It's that simple. And everybody needs to take a look at that and get themselves ready for this. These are the good times. That's what people need to understand. This gets worse from here. And if you prepare yourself for that, you'll be ready for this. You know, Mayor Adams from New York, a couple stories about that clown. First things first, he steps forward and says, hey, we need to get more businesses back in the office. We need to have people there. Now, again, he has no plan to do this. He's just pleading with people to say, hey, come back to the office. Because what's happening is, think about this. People travel to the city. They take the subway. They get off. They buy things at the shop. They get their nails done. They buy lunch. They go to work. They go home. You know, commerce is conducted during that time. And guess what? It's not being conducted. But his plan? Nothing. How about crime? How about fixing crime? I wouldn't go to New York City to save my life right now, okay? It's funny, my son and I have had these ballpark tours that we were gonna do. Okay, no, why? Hey, remember we got robbed in New York? No, pass, okay? Pass, pass, pass. Also, Mayor Adam, the genius, he's blaming TikTok for the spur and auto theft because people are watching videos on how to steal cars supposedly on TikTok, which I looked for car theft videos on TikTok and couldn't find any. So if you have car theft videos you'd like to send to iAllegedly, please send them. Okay, but again, an imbecile. I wish there was kind of a stress test for our politicians right now. Wouldn't that be good? People need to pass a competency test. But again, hey, everybody come back to the office. Okay, New York City's great, okay? So much crime, so many problems, and he's blaming TikTok for the theft, for the auto theft that's happening right now. You can't make this stuff up right now. So share your thoughts on this stuff so far. The banks and the banking situation is far from over, guys. You're going to be hearing a lot more about this in the coming weeks, to say the least. There's so much that's concerning in the economy right now. First things first, think about these staggering statistics. 60% of everybody that's working right now, 60%, say that the only money that they have is the money that's coming in from their next paycheck. And that if they don't get that, they're going to be behind in their bills. 60% of the people right now. This is why when people get laid off, it's catastrophic. Now, you can sit there and believe, hey, you know, this is not a big deal. People are going to be fine. People are going to be able to, you know, be resilient and get a new job and pay their bills. No, no way. 44% of the people out there right now say that they're working more than one job, which I thought that was a great statistic. I thought, oh, great, people have a side hustle. They're doing what they can do to make extra money. No, 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 no. People don't have any money right now. BlackRock, the company with the most assets out of anybody, says they don't want anybody to think that there's going to be a decrease in interest rates over the course of the next year. They're only going to go up. That's what they're saying. And that people need to prepare themselves for this. And if people prepare themselves for this, then they can understand what to do. Okay? Which is solid advice, and it makes the most sense when you think about this, because there's nothing in the economy right now, not a thing, that points to interest rates going down. Okay? They can talk about it. You guys can speculate all you want, but Jerome Powell has done nothing to say that they're going to lower interest rates. All he's talked about is raising interest rates, and it's done nothing. Inflation is still sky high. Remember that. Okay? Hasn't done a thing for us. Sir Richard Branson, you know, his Virgin Orbit doesn't have any funding, and it looks like it's going to cease operation immediately and potentially go bankrupt. Well, this would be the first billionaire to file, you know, bankruptcy in the space race if this does happen. But this is catastrophic, guys. Think of all the money that this guy took with all these people and all these, you know, talks of let's colonize Mars and let's have people live on another planet. Elon Musk's story of I want to be born on Earth and die on Mars. It's ridiculous, okay? Let's solve the problems here, guys. People are broke. People don't have money for food. People are sleeping on the streets here in Southern California, all over the country, you know? A friend of mine just went, you know, to Miami and came back and said there's no homeless in Miami. We've cleaned everything up. I hope that that's true. That would be nice. Different programs to get people off the street. And once again, you know, Florida's leading the way in a lot of different areas. It'd be nice if that was the case, and they're leading the way with homelessness. So, you know, what do you guys think about this? What about the space race? I'm so sick of this. I'm so sick of these billionaires that are wasting money on something like this. Solve the world's problem. Man, I'm telling you, you'll go down in history as the person that did it. You're the person that solved world hunger. Hello, okay? Come on, share your thoughts on this stuff so far. Here are a few interesting statistics when it comes to real estate right now that are in the news. Think about this, commercial real estate. When is the shoe gonna drop? Well, it's dropping now, guys. Think about this. In January, there was $686 million in loans that went bad. Okay. The ones that they're reporting, think about that. In February, it went up to $1.84 billion. It's up 14%. Defaults, where people are being foreclosed upon, has gone up 14%. That is crazy, guys. So you're seeing this at one of the highest levels ever, and you're seeing more and more people, over 5% of the loans, 5% of the loans are behind right now that are being reported. Now, the problem with commercial real estate is that not everything's reported like other real estate, like the foreclosures and the residential stuff that we can easily look up. So the banks are starting to go after these people. The other thing with real estate is all my foreclosure friends have said that April's going to be the month where the banks start cracking down on these people that are behind. So if people are behind in their mortgage, they're going to start getting the letters, they're going to start getting the collection activity, and everything's going to break out now. It'll be interesting to see if that happens. The other thing is that you're seeing more and more people that are trying to buy properties out of the United States, and they're getting tremendous deals. They're saving over $100,000. There's a great article below about how people are going out and buying properties around the world and getting massive discounts on this. When does that happen here? So you're starting to see that. And again, I don't, unless you're retired, you can travel a lot. I never, hey, let's go buy a house in Paris. You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. So yes, there's wealthy people that do that, but also one thing that happens here a lot is you see the Chinese that are buying properties here and they're just vacant. They just plant money and they're hiding money, and they're doing this so that they can avoid, having the money be reported in their own countries. So a lot of wealthy properties that are just sitting there vacant. They're not being rented out. There's no income. They're just sitting there. The other thing is starter homes. The $300,000 starter home is non-existent right now. Basically, there really is no starter homes around the United States that a young couple could go buy for 300 grand or less. Think about that. Isn't that crazy to think about? So the deals will be out there coming soon, but they're not there now. So I think it's just a matter of time until people get real on this stuff. But, all the finagling that they're doing, trying to convince people, rent your first home. Okay, well, it's not a starter home if you're renting it. So share your thoughts on this stuff so far, guys. I really want to know what you think about this. But where can you buy a cheap house? And don't, people send me the $94,000 house in the Ozarks that, the people in Deliverance wouldn't live in. You know what I mean? So share your thoughts. Here's a couple things in the economy that are interesting. Lincoln Power, they're going to go bankrupt. And the reason for that is they just got fined $39 million for not providing enough power during the cold spell that was in December. They provide power from Illinois all the way to Washington, and couldn't do it, couldn't provide enough. People froze, so they got fined $39 million for that. Okay? Cal-Maine is one of the largest egg suppliers in the country. In fact, they control 20% of the entire egg business in the United States. Well, they just had record profits of $700 million, and that is because egg prices doubled, okay? So remember, egg shortage, this is ridiculous, we gotta raise the prices. Think about this. Inside of the quarter, eggs went from $1.31 on the wholesale level to $3.30, okay? So they benefited hugely from that. Massive. Now, another thing that's funny is people in New York, landlords are saying, hey, this isn't fair. We need to be able to raise our rents, and we need to get rid of rent control. Good luck with that. Good luck. That's almost funny when you think about this. Hey, everybody, let's vote in getting rid of rent control in New York City. The shenanigans that people have written me and told me about, that people, live in somebody's unit long after they are dead to maintain the rent is crazy. And you think that these people are going to approve a rent increase, and lift that. It's crazy. It's absolutely funny to think about. But so much around us. I mean, it's kind of unfair that the egg company benefits from the higher egg prices and just had massive profits. Read the story below because it's ridiculous. It's out of CBS News. So many celebrities wanted to sell their homes quickly in Los Angeles because the mansion tax takes effect in April. And, before this takes effect, they want to unload it, because you sell a house that's over $5 million, there's a 4% tax. If it's above $10 million, it goes to 5.5%, which is outrageous. So you have all these celebrities that wanted to sell their house prior to this happening. One thing that's very interesting is Mark Wahlberg, he unloaded his houses, and he has set up shop in Vegas. In fact, he wants to build what he's calling Hollywood 2.0, where he wants to build a community right now in Hollywood to have, studios, film production, TV, streaming, everything. Fascinating stuff. So, be interesting to see if he pulls that off or not. But, a lot of these people that bought these homes didn't buy them for, $4 million and they went up to $5 million. Some of these people have had these houses for a very long period of time. The worst part about this tax is that it goes to what they say to fight the homeless program. Do you have announced the faith that that money is going to go towards where it's supposed to go? I don't even question that, Dan. That's not right. That's not fair. Well, what is? What is fair, guys? Because it's ridiculous right now. I understand taxing the rich, and I understand making everybody pay their fair share and all that stuff, but it gets to a point that it gets kind of ridiculous that these social programs that we're funding don't get made. So, let me know what you think about that. I'm going to end this video, these last few stories, at the Balboa Ferry, the auto ferry that goes back and forth. Now, it's kind of a cool spot, okay? I've been on this thing, can't even count, hundreds of times, okay? California wants to pass a law that they want to phase out diesel fuel and diesel trucks, okay? That's crazy, okay? I don't know how you do that. It's nuts to think about that, okay? So we're not going to have anything delivered. By 2035, they want to have 40% of the trucks on the road be electric, okay? Let's hope so. But again, no plan on this. It was originally 2030. They pushed it back 5 years. But the one thing that is maddening right now with this is I'm at the Balboa Ferry right now. There is talk of closing the Balboa Ferry. Think about this. It opened in 1919. It had its 100th anniversary in 2019. And now they want to close the ferry because of emissions. Because these things use diesel fuel. Okay? Isn't that ridiculous? So, save the ferry, guys. I mean, there's no tradition in the world anymore. We have nothing that is, a joy. Nothing that you can sit there and say, when I was a kid, let me take my grandkids to. That's not done. We need to be able to keep the ferry, guys. So things like this. What are they closing near you? That's ridiculous. This is the perfect example of this. How you can have something move all these vehicles that's electric. Show me. Oh wait, we got to charge. Okay. So please don't forget to hit the like button. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also, if you want the Masters tickets, last chance. I'm not talking about it again. Sign up today. The link is below. It'll be the first link. Don't forget to take a look at our sponsor, Patriot Gold Group. And again, guys, if you want to get a hold of me, hello at iAllegedly. And hopefully they're going to have me back out to do an interview with the owner of the company. But, it's ridiculous. The ferry is closing, okay? Share your thoughts on that stuff, guys. I'll see you guys very soon.